Hello all, welcome to Life and Beyond. Today I am here with a book that tells you how to change basically anything about your life. The book is The Atomic Habits by James Clear. I cannot go on to the book without mentioning a few points about the author. A good baseball player, on the final day of the sophomore year of his high school, he was hit by a baseball right in the middle of his eyes. He soon went into coma. Fortunately, he got out of the hospital, but with a broken nose, half a dozen facial fractures, and a bulging left eye. It took him years to bring his life back to the normal, obviously by implementing the principles of the book. And later on, he came out to be a great author and a great public speaker. This book is about how minute habits leads to transformation of human cells. So let's get straight into the points. So basically, what is a habit? A habit is a behavior or a routine which is repeated, most importantly, automatically. We have a thinking that only massive actions lead to massive results. So we oftentimes tend to dismiss minute changes because they don't seem to matter much at the moment. Even if you save a little money now, you are still not a millionaire. Even if you go to the gym 3 days in a row, still you are out of shape. For the same reason, this slow transformation makes it easy for a bad habit to slide. If you procrastinate in your work, if you work late and ignore your family, if you eat an unhealthy meal, the scale don't rise much. But here, James Clear brings about a phenomenal concept of compounding. He says, if we improve 1% every day, when it is amplified by the time factor, this minute change leads to massive results. So, if you improve your habit by 1% per day for 1 year, you become 37 times better. But here is the catch. If you drop down 1% every day for 1 year, you drop down nearly to zero. Clear also puts forth two important concepts. The first one, the valley of disappointment, and the second one, the critical threshold. When you start doing your push-ups, you do 10, 20, 30, 40, and your muscles are not popping out. Clear calls this the valley of disappointment, where you are putting forth the effort but you are not seeing the result. Then comes the critical threshold, and when you reach that critical threshold, you yourself and people around you start to see the real change. And when you reach that critical threshold, when you see that real change, the people call that overnight success. The people always tend to see that massive change, but rather overlook all the effort that preceded that single change. But you know that all the efforts that preceded that change made that jump possible to happen. How to keep your progress? James Clear says to forget about the goals, but focus on the systems instead. Yes, goals are very important for setting the direction, but there are some disadvantages for the goals. Obviously, winners and losers have the same goal, but all don't win. Goals are a momentary change. Until you reach that goal, you are not happy, so goals restrict your happiness. And goals sometimes can halt us from going long term. Once you reach that race, once you finish it off, there is nothing to motivate you to go further. So Clear says to focus on the systems that will lead you to the results rather than focusing all your attention at the end point. How to do that? Most of us, when we decide to have a behavioral change, go in a particular pattern. First, we set an outcome, that is, we want to be fit. The second thing is we set a process, that is, going to the gym. If the first thing and the second thing happens and all goes well, then only we change our identity, that I am a fit person. But Clear says if we change our perspective from the behavioral change of outcome to identity to a behavioral change of identity to outcome, you can make almost anything possible in your life. So change your perspective from what you want to achieve to what you want to become. So the goal changes. The goal is not to read a book. The goal is to become a reader. The goal is not to run a marathon. The goal is to become a runner. The goal is not to exercise daily, but the goal is to become a fit person. So basically what Clear says is decide on what type of person you want to become and prove it to yourself with small wins. So what are the practical steps for a habit change? So there are 4 components for the habit: a cue, a craving, a response and a reward. Cue is the trigger that makes us think that we have to do something. When you see that jar of cookies, you feel like eating that chocolate. Craving is the motivation behind. Your aim is not to eat that cookie, but to get that feeling, to get that taste that food substance gave us. The response is the actual behavior of eating that cookie, and the reward is that sensation of pleasantness, the sensation of sweetness in your mouth. So any habit you take has these 4 components. So how can we put that to our use? So if you want to build a positive habit, work on these 4. Make your cue obvious. Make your craving attractive, make your response easy and make your reward satisfying. On the other hand, if you want to lose a bad habit, make your cue invisible, make your craving unattractive, make your response difficult and make your reward unsatisfying. So how to work on your cues? Make them obvious, make them visible, make them easy to do. So if you want to eat healthy, chop the fruits and vegetables and keep them in your fridge. If you want to be a fit person, take out your fitness gear and shoes and keep it near your bed on the previous night. And if you want to let go of snacking, make sure your cookie jar is inaccessible. That is how you change your cues so that you can accelerate your positive behavior and decrease the frequency of your negative behavior. How to work on your craving? To build a positive behavior, make your craving attractive. How to make your craving attractive? If you can make something attractive, you are more likely to do that task. This can be done by a process called temptation bundling. This is nothing but you get to do what you want to do if you do what you need to do. So if you want to be a fit person and also you like to be in social media, then you can tell yourself that if I do 50 push-ups a day, then I get to be in Facebook or I get to watch Netflix for half an hour. By this way, you can instill any habit in your life if you pair it with something that you really like to do. Make the reward satisfying. Habits are more likely to be repeated if the rewards are satisfying. But there is a catch. The reward should be immediate. So if you tell yourself, I'll eat healthy, I'll be fit, I'll work hard, I'll exercise, and the reward is I'll be a fit person in 6 months' time, your brain is not going to understand. But If you tell your brain, I'll do 100 push-ups a day and I get to watch a Netflix movie, then your brain understands that. So the catch here, the key here is that the reward should be immediately gratifying. How to do that? Track your habit. Write a to-do list and tick it off. Give yourself a treat. Binge on a Netflix movie once you do your wanted habit. All these are ways by which you can make your reward gratifying and you are more likely to repeat the habit that you want to pursue in your life. So, in a nutshell, Atomic Habits is a book totally worth reading. Go through the principles that is shared in the book and the 4 components of habits that will be there for any habit you take. Work on them and enjoy the amazing results. So, I'll see you with another book in the next episode. Till then, take care.